I'm going to begin just by asking, for those who don't know too much about Mortal Legends coming into this blind, if you could tell me a little bit about your characters and how they fit into this particular universe.
Go.
Should I go?
Ladies
Well,
first.
my character Tom is an apprentice historian at the London Museum, which exists somewhere near what was formerly Piccadilly Circus. And it's the kind of... The London Museum is the last bastion of trying to conserve the past, trying to save all of the old technology that they find out in the broken world, save it from the furnaces of London that power it forward. So Tom's sort of everyday is scouring the scrap heaps, looking for things that he should stick in the museum that are of some historical importance. And then his world gets turned topsy-turvy.
And Catherine Valentine is daughter of Thaddeus Valentine, one of the most respected men in London. And she has kind of been...
Handsomest, too.
Handsomest. She has been brought up in a sort of bubble of, London socialite life. And her world gets turned topsy-turvy.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I've never seen anything like Mortal Engines before, which is obviously a really good sign. But was part of the... I love all the things that they sort of dig up that we have now, obviously, in the future in this museum, like the toaster. They find a toaster and they're like, oh my God, what's this? What do you think we take for granted technology-wise? I think fax machines, right? Everyone sees fax machines as being this thing of the past.
They are the thing of the past.
Draw a picture.
Dude, I talk about this all the time.
That's better than anything else that's ever been invented.
That's weird. You know?
can do that
I
on an
completely
iPhone,
agree.
man.
No,
A
you
computer.
can't have the physical, you'd have to get the printer for the iPhone and stuff. This is
yeah, I know
true.
what you mean.
Fax machines, I don't understand. Also,
You're
the little
living in the
mini
past.
cassette tapes that they recorded voice messages on, probably one of the cutest things in the
Or
world.
like a come home and check your messages type thing.
Yeah, the little cute little...
Oh,
I
the
don't know, I
little
like
tiny
miniature
ones.
things. But yes, fax machines. I'm completely with you
I
on
miss
that.
Walkmans as well. Walkmans were quite romantic.
Sure.
It's because I started
Yeah.
off with a Walkman. Like it's
Yeah.
cassette Walkman.
Yeah.
You know. What did I have on there? The Offspring and Venga Boys.
I used to have like horror tales on the Walkmans.
Did you really?
On the
Going
little
around listening to
cassette.
horror stories?
Yeah, or there was one called Polly and the Stupid Wolf. I used to love Polly and
The Stupid Wolf. That's a bit harsh, isn't it?
I had one about a magic dragon.
Puff?
That's it, yeah.
Well, we know what the connotation is there, my friend.
I know. I guess when you're adapting such a popular series of novels,
A receiver of sort of information.
and I'm just wondering too about obviously accents. You have to put accents on in this. I was wondering, are there any particular phrases or sayings that you had to say in a London accent that you found particularly hard or you stumbled across? And what is the thing you most enjoyed saying in a London accent?
Ooh.
I had to, it's always like sounds. There was a line I said to you actually where I said, I'm dumping everything over the side. Talking about this sort of dangerous tech and it's going over the side of London. There's something about that O sound, There's always like an Achilles heel of a sound. So the O in over was tricky for me. And I liked saying about the terrorist Anna Fang. He said, well, they still haven't caught her. Should be all locked up, in my opinion. Because I found it really English. I found it a really sort of very specifically English thing to say.
For me, it's all a bit of a shambles. I don't really understand where the English accent starts and the Australian ends and the American kind of pops up every now and then. So I can't really tell when it's happening because I grew up here until I was 18. From 18, I sounded completely like you. So I find my brain finds it hard to know when I'm actually doing something wrong. It's all a little bit.
That's going to get you into
all
some
over
hairy
the place.
situations.
Yeah.
With Christian at the helm. I mean, not to sound patronising, but did you at times almost feel like proud parents because you acquire on a movie set, which is obviously, I guess you're learning. It's almost like a different craft, isn't it? Sometimes when you're making a movie like this. But is it? I guess you have to embrace this kind of new means of storytelling and enjoy it, even if it is quite challenging to act in front of a tennis ball on a stick or whatever.
It's fun though as well because
Yeah.
you go to drama school and you don't get to do any of that and you kind of dream of that a little bit. You're like, oh, I wonder if one day I'll be on a movie with a green screen, And then it's like, oh my gosh, I'm here.
Yeah.
Where do I look? But they built so much of the set for us. You know, there was for me at least. I know you had a lot of green screen, but for most of my stuff that happened on London, you know, the incredible team down there just built the most expansive, detailed sets.
The trick is to keep it in your mind, you know, keep it as vividly in your mind's eye what you're looking at, you know, and it's, you know, because when it falls away, you know, you get a bit tired after lunch. You're like, okay, what am I looking at again? Come on, brain, here we go. And so yeah, it was challenging in that respect, but we didn't have much of that to contend with, thankfully.
And they had it all designed as well, so we could go into the concept art room and see what we were looking at. So it's not like we had to imagine a lot. You know, they had the images of what it was going to be. You know
what? Meditation as well. It sort of increases your ability, essentially makes the mind's eye more vivid. So that definitely helped.
And obviously,
How are you both doing?
Good,
how are you?
Not too bad. Just kind of.
Need a coffee or a break from the room? Or...
Is it still daytime?
I have no idea. I've been in this hotel for a while too.
dark so early now.
It really does. It probably is not daytime at this point, is it? Let's be honest. Thank you for talking to me about Mortal Engines.
Pleasure.
One of the things I really love is Hester is really, really single-minded. She's got one goal in life, and I'm wondering if there's ever been a goal or something that you've set yourself and just been super determined to achieve it.
I want to do a backflip.
Okay. Oh, you want?
Ooh.
I want to.
You,
Hasn't happened
do
yet.
and you're still working
I've
on it.
just bought 5 circus lessons in LA, and I'm yet to complete them, but it is all so that I can do a backflip.
When did the dream of doing a backflip start?
When my obsession with Tomb Raider started, and that was probably around 16. There's been a lot of tasks I wanted to complete before that in the last 10 years, but this has really, this whole movie's made me feel like I'm now in a position in my life where I can focus a little bit of attention on the backflip.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like
You
that.
got. I'd be great next time I see you if you're able to do a backflip. That'd be
Okay,
so awesome.
now I have to. Yeah.
I
Do
just
a
felt
back
like it's an
somersault
interesting
as
thing
well.
because I feel like it's a very hard question when you ask actors, because most people it is like, oh, well, I've been very determined on doing my job,
doing
but to
acting.
have something.
Do you know, my mum taught me to knit recently,
Really?
and then I became like feverishly determined to get better, but I'm still crap. You know,
What
she
have you
can
knitted so
she can
far?
go about 90 miles an hour, like.
I bet you
And
need
I'm there.
scarves.
Yeah, basically
Yeah.
just knitting in a perpetual line.
Yeah, exactly.
How long
I
will
can
the
only
scarf
knit one
be?
thing, and it's a scarf.
Can you do different types of stitches
Nope.
yet?
Nope.
Or
Nope.
like, can you
I
even
can just
start
do
it
the
off?
cast-on
Yep,
stitch.
I can
Yeah,
cast
I can
on,
do
cast
that.
off.
See, my
Although-
mum has to do that for me. That's really sad, isn't it? If I ever knit, she has
You
to
have to
start
cast
it.
you on.
I just do a
Yeah.
YouTube tutorial of the cast on, cast off.
Yeah.
Just make
I was doing a job recently, and I was like, wouldn't it be funny if I was knitting in this scene? And they were like, yeah, okay. So I went and bought a ball of wool, and in the scene, and then I was watching YouTube videos for about an hour before the scene. But then I started to do it, and I was like, no, now I can do it. It's destroying the point of the whole thing in the first place.
Well, look, I'm excited to see you guys wear your scarves in the future, and I hope you can work up to a
I
jumper.
actually knitted Christian a scarf as
Did
the
you?
wrap gift. Yeah.
Oh,
I wanted
that's
to-
really
Did you do
nice.
it
Still have
between?
it.
Did you do it between takes, or like just? You know,
I think I was doing it like on set in the makeup chair at home.
It's a lovely
wherever. I
thing
don't
to do
remember,
to
but,
while
like,
away time.
He was the only person on set that got a scarf.
better than being on a phone and playing games, as
Yeah.
I tend to do,
Yeah.
which is bad.
Or betting, gambling, gambling
that's
away all your wages.
Yeah, I had to do that one. But a lot of the characters, or actually both your characters, are hugely into history, particularly our time period of history. I'm wondering if there is a period of history that you have, I love the Tudors. Do you have a time period that you know a lot about, or even just a subject matter that for some reason you are particularly
I
knowledgeable
wish
on?
I grew up in the 70s and 80s. Does that count? Still part of history?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Could you do a quiz on it if someone quizzed you on the 70s?
No, no. I just like the vibe.
Yeah.
I like the atmosphere. I like the music. I like the movies. I like the way people talk, the way people did things. I like it more.
How about for you? What would be your like specialist subject in a quiz?
Special subject. Well, do you know what? I watched The Ballad of Buster Scruggs last night.
Oh yeah.
By the Coen brothers, which was enormously well researched. And that's so fresh in my brain now that I feel like a specialist on the Old West.
That's a good
Brilliant
one.
film.
I'd do that too.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily want to live there though, because it's like 6 stories about really
Yeah, I'd probably
sort
be
of
a
awful
horror.
realities that people back then had to face, had to endure. And it's like, you know, it's such a fabulous movie. But
Are you the kind of people then when you watch films that you almost or documentaries that you just go into I go into like a Google hole where I just am researching
Sometimes,
things
yeah.
afterwards.
Sometimes.
yeah,
A little bit.
I was Googling for a bit after Buster Scruggs last night because there's this character who has no arms and no legs, and I was Googling going, does that guy actually have? But it turns out he doesn't. Spoiler alert. Sorry.
Okay. The actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
actor.
Okay. And did you get to go and see Peter Jackson's incredible props collection? Did he take you on
Yeah.
tours? What is that actually like? Because
Oh
I
my
have
gosh,
heard incredible
there's so
things.
many of them. Like, there's so many warehouses. It's incredible. It is what it is. The coolest thing is seeing the Lord of the Rings miniatures. Like, you see, like, the towers and the Eye of Sauron and, like, all of the anyway, you get it. The miniatures, they're really cool.
Yeah. Is it just a place you can just get lost in, basically?
Yeah, totally, actually.
He hoards everything. He's the king hoarder
Yeah.
of New Zealand.
Yeah, and then there's, like, the Jurassic dinosaurs. There's, like, a Joe the gorilla thing. Like, really cool stuff. The Planet of the Apes stuff, really cool.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah,
Right,
it's
thank you
awesome.
so much. It was lovely chatting to you.
Pleasure.
Old tech that you can come up with. So we saw a toaster, didn't we, in the film?
Oh,
What
like
about-
a new piece of old tech.
Like an
What
old.
about a bent whisk as a boomerang? What about a washing machine as a safe? But I did steal that from a BBC show, This Country. So just giving it the cred there, plagiarizing.
I'd like to see Dog in the next one. That
yeah.
would be, that's something, yeah.
Yeah, what's the dog called again?
Dog.
Yeah, the dog's called Dog in the book.
And it's
But-
a wolf.
Oh yeah, it's
It's
a
actually
wolf.
not a dog. It's a white wolf called Dog.
What would you breed the wolf with? Breed it with something weird so the puppies come out.
Lion.
Yeah.
Half lion, half wolf. That's perfect. That's my ideal.
Yeah, so in the second book, Tom and Hester have become parents. So that'd be quite nice, wouldn't it, to play a dad? Do you know what's interesting? I've never played a dad, which is that's going to be
Beautiful dad.
hopefully I wouldn't drop the poor divil like I was dropped many
Don't
times
call
on
it
my
a
head.
divil, but
The poor old,
what is that?
The
Is
poor
that
old
like-
crater. Brighton is on the water. Brighton is it's the good time holiday resort city, you know? There's lots to do, sunshine off the south coast of England, you know, less big scary cities coming and trying to eat you.
I would probably turn Hawaii into some kind of attraction city. There's not enough tropics in that's the one thing missing from this film.
Yeah.
It's the palm trees and, you know.
And they only go to colder climes as the books go on.
Yeah. So I would jump in there and make the first holiday resort attraction city.